Hi, I'm Lauren. I Can Relate, a podcast for teens, about teens, and by teens, is made possible by the generosity of Lee's Summit Cares. Lee's Summit Cares is a nonprofit coalition organization focused on promoting healthy behaviors and activities for youth and families. I Can Relate is produced by Fredcasts. Think, speak, act.
Hi, welcome back to I Can Relate.
A podcast by teens, for teens, and about teens. I'm Ellie, and I'm a senior.
I'm Connor, I'm a senior.
I'm Isabel, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Lauren, and I'm a senior.
All right, so the Barbie movie. It starts off where a world with every single Barbie. Okay, just so you know, I'm a guy, so like this is a guy's perspective, okay? So Barbie movie starts out all about like women being perfect, like their perfect world. Once again, it's my opinion.
What do you mean by perfect?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
A world where it's just like perfect for them, and then it goes and Barbie gets like stuff starts happening wrong with her. So then she goes to the real world and realizes that the real world is run by men, and she hates it and she doesn't like it. So then all she wants to do is go back to Barbie world. And Ken is with her in the real world, and Ken loves it there, obviously, because back in the old town of Barbie Land, he is just like forgotten and like hates it because he's just like a little side character. And basically, so they get back, and Ken just takes over, and
Mojo Dojo Casa House.
yes,
The whole place.
And he just like loves it, and obviously he loves it because he has power, and now women have no power, and he loves it. And then they like take it back, and then it went back to normal. That's pretty much it. So like, what do you guys think about that?
All right, so that's the Barbie movie. That's what it's about. What is the Barbie movie actually about?
Hey, this is a guy's perspective. I mean, like.
So obviously, like, Barbie, Margot Robbie, Ken, Ryan Gosling, oh, love. But, like, the Barbie movie means so much more than that. I think that it was, like, really, like, ahead of its time, but not. Like, it came out at a good time where I think that a lot of women were looking for something more, like, progressive in a sense. And Barbie, like, historically has never been that. Like, Barbie was, perfect everything. Like, she does all this, and yeah, she's ambitious, and she does every job. Like, there's a Barbie president. But Barbie just stereotypically was an idealistic woman. And now with this movie, I think they're trying to change that.
Yeah, because she, like, went back after, even if, like she went back to the real world. And she kind of realized, like, it wasn't, like, she didn't have to be perfect, and she could just be herself.
Do you think the Barbie movie was a good portrayal of what our current society is like?
Yes, but also, like...
You can say no. Like, you can say you didn't like it.
Yeah.
There are certain parts of the Barbie movie that did rub me the wrong way.
Okay.
I think the movie as a whole is really great, but just the idea of all of these, like, quote-unquote weird Barbies and how none of them talked to the weird Barbies.
Like Alan? Are you talking about Alan?
Well, like Alan, Mitch,
Like, who's Mitch? I don't even know who Mitch is.
she's the
There's a
pregnant
Mitch?
Barbie.
Oh.
There's
And
a
they
Mitch?
discontinued
Yeah, she's the
her.
one that was canceled.
Yeah, they discontinued her because she was pregnant and nobody wanted a pregnant doll.
What?
Which, why are we not talking about pregnant? Like, I just can't.
But just the idea that, like, they had, like, no position in society until Barbie needed something, and then they relied on them. Which, like, don't get me started on, like, growing up Skipper, but that was just a whole problem in itself. But, like, Magic Earring Ken. The Barbie with the TV in her back.
Yeah,
And, like,
there's
just
like
weird-
a lot of random ones.
Yeah, just, like, the fact that they didn't have any place to be until Barbie needed them just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay, so, like, you're talking about how Barbie is, like, the spotlight of the entire movie, and then there's all these side pieces that only show up when they're needed.
Oh, so they're like, basically what you're saying is like, they are like they feel like less important, but the only important one is the perfect one, basically.
Kind of. It's just like, that's the only really part that bothered me, but I feel like the movie as a whole I really liked the message of it.
Yeah, and like, what do you think that is?
Just like, it's okay not to be perfect. And she goes from being perfect stereotypical Barbie to, I mean, at the end of the movie, she goes to the gynecologist. And,
Yeah.
like, that was a really big point for a lot of women.
I think that's something, like, really big you brought up, because, like, I mean, I'm 18. I mean, Isabel's a little baby over there. Isabel, how old are you?
I'm 14.
So, like, Isabel, do you know what a gynecologist is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, going to a gynecologist is normally seen as, like, something you do is, like, you're an older woman, and, like, you don't talk about that. Like, who's ever talked about, like, going to the gynecologist? Like, that's just not normal to talk about, and that's because it talks about, like, your imperfections. Like, it talks about, like, the gross things that nobody wants to talk about, and I think that that's kind of important that the Barbie movie brought it up, because it's stereotypically something we're supposed to be quiet about as women.
I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you.
A gynecologist?
What, a gynecologist?
Yeah, like I don't even know what it is.
It's a lady doctor.
Oh.
It's a doctor for your vagina.
Yeah.
It's okay to say vagina.
I wasn't sure if that would...
Oh, no, it won't.
But you go and, like, you're supposed to see your gynecologist every year from, like, 18 to whenever you kind of, like, die almost, to check for, like, cervical cancer.
And it's just all about, like, your health. And, like, that's
Important.
we don't talk about that, though. Like, I mean, it's kind of like what you said with pregnant Barbie. Like, pregnant Barbie isn't perfect because she's pregnant, which means that she has a baby that's going to hold her back from, like, her life and from being ambitious. And that's just not true. Like, just because you're a woman and you actually have, like, you know, like we're women, like, once a month we bleed. Like, that's just a thing. And does that stop us from going out and, like, having our lives? No, and it shouldn't. And I think that's kind of the message they're trying to get out with including the gynecologist part, is just the fact that, like, it's totally normal and it's totally okay because this is your body and you can't control how it works.
Like, sorry, it's just, like, it's such a major thing that, like, a lot of women don't really have access to or aren't really, like you said, able to really talk about it, because it's just seen as this thing that, like, you do in silent, you do in private. And, like, obviously, you know, when she's all up in there, like...
Yeah.
But just the idea of, like, hey, this is something normal. Like, this is health. Mm-hmm. And, like, it really can be very detrimental if you don't go.
Yeah, and I think it's so sad that, like, in, like, pop culture and in, like, social media and just, like, your public life, you aren't supposed to talk about that stuff because it's weird and it's supposed to be private. And I think that kind of just goes back to, like, what it used to be like. Like, you know how, like, we were women, like, we lived in the home, we cleaned, we cooked, we had men's babies, and they went to work and they did all this stuff. And you're not supposed to talk about where babies come from. You're not supposed to talk about the fact that we have periods. Like, it's not seen as perfect, because perfect is you have your makeup on, you have your hair done, and you're dressed really nice, and here's all your kids who behave perfectly, and oh, you should have, like, a ton of them, and oh, your house should be pretty. And if it's not, it's your fault.
Yeah. I think the movie especially did a good job, because, like, when she, like, initially went to the new world, like, to get it fixed, was because she had that, like, I forgot what it's called.
Existential thoughts of death?
No, like, she had, like, all the imperfections with her body, and, like, she was losing the
like
perfection.
how her heel goes down.
Yeah, like how she can't
cellulite.
Yeah, like that stuff. And then, like, she just realizes, like, it's natural, like, it's a normal thing, like, it's not a big deal. And then, like, she realized that she was, like, fine with it.
I think for her it was more comforting to go to the real world where, I mean, like, cellulite exists, for example, and, like, your heel isn't, like, perfectly in the form of a 4-inch heel you're supposed to wear every day and sleep in, basically, because she saw there's other women like this, like pregnant Barbie. Do any of the Barbies in Barbie Land have kids?
No, but I would
No?
like to point out that this whole exception thing, pregnant Barbie has a name. Pregnant Barbie's name is Midge. Midge deserves respect.
My point to it, though, is that, like, the main protagonist in this, the woman she ends up helping, she has a daughter, and she's, like, 30 to 40, so she has cellulite. And she's not perfect. In fact, she's actually... Isn't she a minority? She's,
Isn't she, like...
I think she's Latin American,
Yeah.
if I'm right.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what... like, they never specifically said, and I don't remember specifically what, like, the actress, like...
Yeah.
What her, like, bloodline is, but she's not white. She is, like, some sort...
Yeah. But more of my point to that is, like, I think it was comforting for her to see that she's not alone.
I feel like also there's, like, a lot of stress for, like, stereotypical Barbie. Because, like you said, like, all the other Barbies, they have not, like, a flaw, but, like, they're not, like...
They're not perfect
perfection
stereotypical
of,
Barbie.
like, stereotypical of, like, what a woman is, you know, air quotes, supposed to be, like, or what everybody thinks it should be. Like, they have something, like, that's not, I mean, not wrong with them, but, like, what society thinks, I guess, is wrong. Like, I mean, I feel like they try to show it to, like, represent, like, people like that, which is really good, and I think they've, like, improved, especially as, like, more of a company standpoint of, like, but, I mean, like, originally they weren't like that. It was just, like, straight, like, I want, like, perfection, like
All the Barbies look the same.
Yes,
They all
but,
came
like,
out
now they're
with
trying to
blonde
change
hair,
that.
blue eyes.
Yeah, now they're, like, they have Barbies with, like, obviously that aren't white, blonde hair, blue eyes. They also have, like, different, like, body shape Barbies. I don't remember what
there's
the line
plus
was
size
called.
Barbies. There's
There's, like,
wheelchair
disabled
Barbies,
Barbies.
yeah.
Like, different culture, like, background.
They make hearing aids for Barbies now. Everybody know that?
That is
I saw
so
one with
fun. I saw
braces.
that. And there's, like, ones where, like, part of their arms are missing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, there's Down syndrome Barbie. I really want to.
I didn't know there was a Down syndrome
That one's
Barbie.
new.
Yeah, like, it's based off, like, a real person. She like, that's her Barbie.
Don't they do that, like, every year or something? Like, they take somebody and they, like...
I know that they made, like, every year. I'm not sure if it was, like, every year or if it's, like, special occasions. But I know that, like, if somebody makes, like, a big impact sometimes, like,
Then
they'll
they'll
get,
like, make a Barbie after her. Like, didn't Michelle Obama have a Barbie?
yeah, that's what I'm, like, I think Michelle Obama has a Barbie.
I'm pretty sure Michelle Obama has a Barbie.
I feel like I remember that. Like,
But-
after, like, the food act or whatever that she made.
I think that, like, though, them making, like, more, like, if you want to say, like, inclusive Barbies is, like, important because, like, it goes back to, like, there's no longer a stereotypical Barbie. I mean, like, you could say, like, it's still the blonde, blue-eyed Barbie, but there's really not because they have a Barbie for everything. So there is no perfect Barbie anymore. All the Barbies are perfect in their own way. And that's important because if you look at Barbie and you're like, this is the ideal woman, this is what I should be like growing up as a kid. Like, I kind of even remember looking at my Barbie who was blonde and being like, I'm not blonde. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a brunette. And, like, that's so little to think about. But I remember thinking when I was younger that pretty was being blonde.
Well, like, that's what I was going to say is, like, especially, like, being able to relate to it as, like, a child. Because we all, like, when you're a child, all you want to do is dream and, like, look up to something. And if, like, you know, when it was original company, it was just, like you said, like, a perfect, like, not perfect, but, like, blonde hair, blue eyes, like, and, I mean, not everybody's, like, born like that and have that, you know, perfection. Like, there's nobody who has that perfection. I mean, you can strive for it, but it's, like, you have to, like, love yourself for, like, what you are.
I mean, what's the point? If you're going to throw in, like, all of this work and all of this money and just all of this stress, like, that deteriorates your mental health so hard that you're no longer, like, really a valuable person, because what really matters is, like, that I can sit across from you and have a good conversation with you, I think. And, like, I don't really care, like, what you wear or what you look like. It's more of the fact that, like, we're people and we don't connect on looks, we connect on emotional level.
Yeah, like, there is no exact replica of Ellie. You are Ellie.
Yeah.
And, like,
I mean, I don't know, Isabel looks a lot like me, but...
Yeah, but, like, there will never be an exact you. Like, you may meet other Ellie and you may look like them, but nobody will, like, think the same way you do, have the same interests that you do, and that's what makes you
special and
You're like
Well,
you're
yeah,
perfect
unique.
Barbie.
Mhm.
I also feel like with social media and stuff and people like posting and like wanting to be a perfection, and I feel like there's just so much less like personality, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, people just want to like copy what's big or like.
I mean, like on social media, you
repost.
have to look at the surface of it because you can't look at a post, look at a caption, and be like, okay, there's this entire person's life. Like, you don't know, like, they have diabetes. Like, you don't know that their mom died. Like, you can't look at a post and know that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like people like lacked a lot of like kind of face to face connection because, like you said, you can't just look at somebody and judge who they are. Like you like, because like when I meet somebody, I have to have a conversation with them. I have to like understand them as a person rather than just like you look like this. Like I'm gonna judge you and I'm gonna stereotype you as that person.
Mm. I mean, Isabel, what do you think? Do you think there's a lot of like, do you feel competition to be blonde? Do you feel competition to be perfect?
I mean, yeah, because obviously, like, if you're perfect, like, I feel like sometimes you get more opportunities in life. I don't even know, but like,
No, I think that's valid to say.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like there's different like cliques in school, and it's like I can't talk to those people because they're perfect, or like I don't even know, like
Well,
They're better than you.
Yeah.
Like they're on like a whole other level.
Like
Yeah.
I think because like when I was a freshman, like I feel like everything was so like you're in a group of people because you're this, and like you're in a group because you do this, and like you're not friends because of this, and like you it's not socially accepted because you do one thing and then you play a sport, so you can't be in theater or something like that because it just
Yeah.
doesn't work. And like as a senior, like looking back on it, I feel like it's just not like that. But I feel like when you're coming in, like I mean, I was just like, because you're a freshman, like I don't know, like if it's changed or something, but like that's how I felt.
I mean, like, yeah, I feel that way, but I just kind of do whatever that I want. But,
Yeah,
like,
you don't
I
really
see
know
my,
any different.
yeah, but I, like, see my friends, and obviously, like, I feel like they kind of do that, but,
And then if you step outside of that, like, you're an anomaly. You're weird.
yeah.
Like, God forbid that you're starting on the football team and in your free time you get up on stage and you sing a song and dance
like,
around.
I mean,
Nobody wants to be friends with Troy Bolton.
well, like I mean, I play baseball and esports, and like I tell people like I play esports because I think it's funny because they think it's like a joke, like, but I'm just like, cause like everybody's like ew, like weird, like stereotypical of like a nerd, and I'm just like, well, I play a sport. I mean, like I'm a varsity athlete, but I can like everybody plays video games just because I play it competitively. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like nobody thinks it, and I just like joke about it because it's funny to me. But
I think that I've had a very interesting experience in high school because, like, I played a sport and, like, I mean, I was decently good at it. And then, like, I also, like, am a straight A student and I'm, like, in, like, a wide range of clubs. And people look at that and, like, they're like, that's so weird. And then here we are now that I'm a senior and I've been doing all of that for 4 years. Now people look at me and they say, oh my gosh, you're doing so well, and like I have all these opportunities now. Like I have scholarship opportunities that they don't have, and I have like these random things that I get offered to do that are like fun, and now people are like kind of jealous of the fact that I was breaking the norm, and still they want to sit there and
like
not
one
do
of my
it.
friends said like you run your school like as a joke, but like I mean I just feel like coming in as a freshman, like you don't want to join stuff because you think people are going to judge you, but like at the end of the day, like when you're a senior, everybody's going to think you're cool because you have all these like letters because you're in all these things, and like
Yeah, because, like, I feel like as a freshman, I mean, obviously with COVID, there were really no clubs to join. And I was,
Yeah, we had a
I
weird
was pretty
experience.
new to the district. And so, like, it wasn't like I had been in band and now I continue to play band or, like, be in the band. But looking back, they're now like, oh, why do you not have all of these extracurriculars? Why aren't you in all of these clubs? And I'm like, I just feel like I was told to pick one club and stay in it
Yeah.
and like prioritize it. But now, like, trying to like get into a college, they're like, well, like, why aren't you volunteering every day? Why aren't you in a sport, in a club?
Yeah.
Why aren't you, like, straight A honors? And all of these things. And I'm like, I was never told to. I was never, like, given the opportunity.
It's not like it's not socially accepted, especially when you're younger. Like,
which I kind of want to say is wrong, I think. I think it's
Really?
fine if you want to be a part of one club and if you don't want to play a sport.
Yeah, like, I think it's, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you get older, you realize it's not. Like, it's, like, you just, as a freshman, I feel like, in, like, a younger audience, you just kind of feel like it. Because, like, you're only supposed to be, like you said, like, it feels like you're only supposed to be part of one thing. Like, I as a baseball player, like, I just felt like I was supposed to play baseball, and that was enough. Like, I got my 10 hours, my 10 hours of volunteering, and I was done.
Yeah.
And, like, volunteering feels like a graduation
Requirement.
not
Yeah.
like an act of service and, like, to your community.
You're not doing it for you. You're doing it to graduate.
Yes.
But I have a question, and it's for Ellie.
That's Isabel.
So, oh my God. I'm so sorry. For Isabel.
I told you we look alike.
Would you think, like, do you think you would have benefited if, like, the school, like, made you really kind of, like, connect with people more, like, joining a club or something?
Like if they forced her to join 2 clubs when she just stepped in the door?
Well, not really, like, forced, but if they, like, heavily encourage you to do more than, like, one thing, do you think you would have, like, been more interested in it versus, like, if they were just like, go?
I feel like I do more than one club, but, like, I feel like some people who don't do more than one club, if they don't want to do it and, like, people are telling them to do it, I feel like they're not going to get anything out of it because they're not going to be listening or, like, putting any effort into it. And I also have friends, like, I asked my friends, I was like, oh, are you going to club pictures? She's like, no, I don't have any clubs. I was like, oh, why aren't you in any clubs? And she's like, well, she does horseback riding. So she has horseback riding, like, literally every single day of the week. So some people just have other things outside of school that they participate in.
They don't have time and they prioritize over.
Yeah.
But I think something really interesting to think about is, like, in the Barbie movie, there aren't any clubs. There aren't any cliques. It's just, like, every Barbie is individually Barbie. And there's one person.
Yeah, like, the only thing bringing them together is their Barbie.
Yeah, and they all just, like, I mean, they don't even really follow stereotypical Barbie. I mean, they have President Barbie, but, like, they're very much, like, individuals.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, like, like you said, like, they all have their own house.
Yeah, they do.
In their circle.
Mm-hmm. I will say that, like, there are definitely some Barbies that are, like, okay, the one thing is different from, like, if you put her next to another Barbie, there's one thing that's different between the two of them. But they
that's
don't
just
really,
marketing.
yeah, they don't really click at all.
Yeah.
Like, Barbie's never really seen hanging out with the same Barbies. She's just always hanging out with these random Barbies that are all side characters that we don't really know the names of.
It's like, hi Barbie, like, that's all, like, they do.
Well, like, I know that they have, like, the party before she goes to, like, the real world, and she invites, like, everybody. But I don't ever see them, like, the only conversation I feel like that you see happen is between Ken and another Ken. Like, and then they have, like, girl night, and then they wake up and they wave to each other. They're not really, like, friends.
But even
You're
if...
saying, like, they're fake friends?
Not really, like, I wouldn't consider them fake friends. I just feel like we're told they're friends, but maybe Barbie doesn't know they're friends.
Well, like, even if I feel like the people who are at, like, the sleepover, it's not all of the Barbies. It's just, like, the, I guess, most popular... Or
there's, like 6 of them, and
yeah,
it's, like, the girls that are in her little circle.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. Like, I don't remember, like, seeing the same Barbie with stereotypical Barbie throughout the entire movie.
No, we're talking about, like, the sleepover part.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I just know that there were only, like, 6 Barbies there.
Well, and also, I really only remember, like, actually, like, maybe, like, they got introduced, but, like, actually, like, ones that talked. It was, like, 4 of them.
I mean, you have to think, like, all the Barbies, like, kind of, like I said, like, there's one thing different between all of them. So, like, all these Barbies are basically stereotypical Barbie. They're just a different race. They have a different hair color, and they do different jobs. That's the different part, is that they all have different jobs. And we see, like, Midge, her name is, right? The pregnant Barbie?
Midge.
Yeah. We see her once, and we see, is there any other minority Barbie? Like, not race-wise. I mean, like, I'm talking, like, disabled or...
I don't think in the movie at all.
I think wheelchair might have been in it.
A wheelchair Barbie?
I don't remember seeing... It may have been in there. I don't remember. But, like, the only, like, other Barbie was, like, Dua Lipa with, like, Mermaid Barbie.
Mermaid Barbie.
Well, and the, I guess, weird Barbie.
But, like, my point to that is that they all look like that. They all have, like, they all look like that. So what you mean by, like, these, like, pretty and like basically stereotypical Barbies, like that is all that's in the movie. There's not any like different sizes of Barbie. There's no plus size Barbie.
There's
really.
it. Like one of like the at the end when they're like unbrainwashing everybody, one of the people that they save is like the plus size Barbie, but she's got all of like 5 minutes of screen time.
But she's plus size Barbie. There's no blonde plus size Barbie. There's no brunette plus size Barbie. There's no redhead.
Like her
plus size
Barbie is being plus size Barbie.
That's
yeah, like
no,
it's one Barbie, not like multiple plus size Barbie that are all like different. Like
and that's kind of the point I'm trying to get at, is that like the majority of them all have the same body.
Yeah,
they just have different.
They're
jobs.
stereotypical Barbie, but it's just like you're this like minority, or you're like this difference of like from stereotypical.
And I know they're plastic, but that's probably because they're all gold to be stereotypical Barbie, but we have to market it a different way.
And you want like to fit everybody, because if you just have stereotypical Barbie, it's not gonna like work as a company.
Like I'm stereotypical Barbie, but I'm a chemist. And
like basically.
I'm stereotypical.
Oh, I'm different because I'm president.
I have a job like I am a math teacher. I'm like you said, chemist. Like.
But they all look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I just feel like kind of just getting out of like the message I really want to send is just like it's okay to like not be like, you don't have to be a stereotype. Like you don't have to like fit in a group of people. You can be outgoing and be just like yourself in every way possible and embrace that.
Yeah, and like I know that like I mean like I don't know, but so with the stereotypical Barbie thing, like we have Ken, right? And like similarly to how we were talking about like all the Barbies looking the same, like all the Kens look the same. And then like we have just weirdly named Alan.
Well, Alan is Ken's best friend, and all of Ken's clothes fit Alan, but nobody bought Alan, so they discontinued him.
That's so sad.
Why didn't we buy Alan, guys? Why didn't your moms buy Alan?
I think he was discontinued in the 60s. I may be wrong about that, don't quote me, but I think he was discontinued like 1965, maybe something like that.
I think the important thing to take away from like Alan and then obviously like being stereotypical Barbie is that like, I mean, it creates bad competition to be like that. Like, we don't want to be Alan. We want to be stereotypical Barbie. Why do we want to be stereotypical Barbie?
Because everybody loves stereotypical Barbie.
But why does everybody love stereotypical Barbie? Because she's pretty, because she's popular. But we make her that. We buy her because she's pretty and because all my friends have her. And we watch her movies because all my friends do. And so we create the problem. So if we go to the store and if we buy Alan, then Alan's also popular. Or if we go to the store and we buy like plus size Barbie, then plus size Barbie is also popular. So if we look at like what's happening in the world and we don't like that this is a stigma, like let's change it, because we can, because we have the power to change what popular is and what perfect is. I mean, Isabel, how do you feel like we're 18, like we've been through high school. We can't really like change anything anymore.
I mean, I feel like that's a good point. Like, we decide what's popular. Like, obviously, like, I don't know, like, bell bottoms aren't popular now, but, like, the leggings, but, like, that was just the first thing that came to my mind. Mm-hmm. But, like, I can't remember the word, but, like, things change because, like, people decide they're popular. Influencers decide things are popular. So, like, we just go along with it.
Mm-hmm. And, like, if the influencer has the power to decide something is cute or chic or, like, cool, then I think everybody has the power to decide that something is like that. Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
No, I just, like, that's a really good point. Like, we are the reason that, like...
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this episode of I Can Relate. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.